Hello again, everybody. It's Michael here with your latest supply and demand market report. I hope you're all well. This video is going to be looking at the indices from around the world. And before we begin, as usual, please remember that this is purely for educational purposes and not solicitation to buy or sell anything. So we will start with the Nikkei. And as you can see on the daily, we have formed a double top with this whole supply range being what is holding. We have a demand zone now below us that is being tested. As I mentioned in last week's video, I prefer the lower levels because it would be a retest of the previous all-time highs that we have in this market. So there will be lots of people, lots more eyes on the level. Whoops, what happened there? Where did my charts go? I think they're just refreshing. So that's what we've got. I prefer the lower levels for engagement, and we are seeing distribution coming into this market. So it had a really, really strong week of selling, an outside week down, which is quite negative actually. And it was, other than I think Monday, it was just selling continuously all week. That was the one day that was an up day. Monday and Tuesday all the way to Friday was just selling down. So that's it. We're still continuing. If we rally up, it's going to be interesting because what we have, if you notice what I've drawn on the daily, we basically have a range now. We have a range with the highs set and the low of the range set. What is interesting is now we have a bit of a trap with the demand right below the low of this blue box demand here. There'll be a lot of stops below that area, which would trigger if we do fall through, and that will be good for a long trade to bounce. We have to see how it arrives. We have to evaluate what happens when prices get into this level or to this level and all of that, but those are the levels we're looking at right now. All right, let's go to Germany. Let's see what's happening. Germany had a bloody week, bloody red blood, or blood red, I should say. So it was a very, very, significant selling all week, closed below the low of the week before, trying to form a drop-based drop. It obviously hasn't dropped far enough yet, but it's taken out demand to the left, and we're now getting a top. And you can see the distributive formation on the daily chart here. We talked about this box all of last week. We talked about that level and how it wasn't great the week before that, and prices have just whipsawed people as it distributed into that box, and now it's come out of there. So if you are into sort of counter trend type of trading, or you want to get in early, because right now what we have is a sideways range that's with a downside bias, so going up to areas to short around here. Let me get that line. Oops, looks like my lines have disappeared. I'm going to refresh this page. Something's up with it. Let's refresh it and see what happens. Any joy, any luck? Come on. I'm making my video longer for no good reason. All right, let's go back to Germany. And we were talking, there were the lines. We were talking about that level there as a potential short if we rally up in the DAX. Okay, so that's what we've got, this supply. In fact, probably best to put it there. Okay, that's what we've got for now. There may be other new ones form as we go down, in which case evaluate it, and you will have buyers coming in. Expect buying to start around there, which would line up with in and around the weekly level that is just below us. you may get a bounce from there, but whether there will be supply above to meet that demand, which may come in at these levels, is we'll have to wait and see. Because, for example, where you are now, if you get a drop like that, if you get it's done it again. Oh man. Okay. I'm not going to be able to do that. I will leave it to you guys. All right, let's go to the Russell. Not sure what's up with TradingView today, but it's acting up a little bit. So the Russell on the daily, you can see that we talked about this level. We still have the lines drawn in, and after it's had the bounce, it's come in again from, it was up here last week when we talked, so that level had already done what it was supposed to do. So it was Monday, and it just had, significant selling. What it hasn't done is taken out that level yet. We are struggling, as we've said, with this supply, which we weren't keen on because it was within this whole wider range. So it does. The other thing it's not doing is that it's not falling. This is the wider range I was talking about. It's not falling from that supply. I'm going to take that one out now. Even though it's hit that supply, there isn't that huge downward move we would expect, which is suspicious. In my experience, it's often the case that when that happens, all we're doing now is building a new base up here with the potential for it to now go to the upside. That's a potential. Obviously, it could also continue to the downside, in which case it'll come down there. But this is ominous because we're building a higher base, which is a positive thing. It's demand holding prices at a higher level than when we were in this green box down here. It's not falling from that supply like it should. If the sellers were so aggressive and this area was, very, very interesting for the sellers, they should have had much more of a move. So when something that should happen doesn't, it's always important to pay attention. Okay, so that's the Russell there. We'll see what happens, which formations come out of this one, whether it's rally-based rallies or drop-based rallies or drop-based drops and rally-based drops, to see how we will engage it. But for now, it's looking a bit more bullish, but not to the level where we can trade it just yet. Going to the FTSE, what a week it has had. It got to the bottom of the range. It's still within that range we've been talking about for a few weeks now. Hasn't come out, but it did just towards the bottom of the range have a big move down, which is interesting. You see the line we talked about that we needed to see it close below. Well, it closed below it and it tested it, and it's down here. So it was testing it as of Monday, and it just let go from there. What's odd, though, and something for you to pay attention to, is why, after coming off of the highs here, why is this candle the biggest one in the move? So selling after a move has happened already is often a capitulatory move to the downside. Having said that, remember where we are. All-time highs, I believe. Let's go to the monthly so we can get more data in. Yeah, we were near the all-time highs for this market. So is it going to hold? Is it going to just turn around? It definitely has turned around now. The supply is holding, but this move it's interesting for me because the demand below is not till down here. I mean, you can extend it to encompass all of that, but this rally-based rally plus these lows here, are what is of interest. So we could potentially continue all the way down. Absolutely could. How we do it is what I'm just wondering. Are we likely to have another rally up? Because what we have done is create supply on that weekly. Not drawing it accurately, but the area I mean. It's in this area here, meaning we have a rally base drop at that extreme within it, which is a drop base drop on the weekly. And we have this low yet. It will be really good for the sellers if it's done it again. Trading view. Right, so what would be really good for the sellers is if that low is taken out. That would make the short even better. That will make the short from that level even better. Okay, if we manage to get below that low. I think TradingView might be doing some maintenance. Need to get through these videos though. Last couple, nothing in the Nasdaq. It was a nothing week, very tight range. I think because it was a shortened trading week. It was July 4th, and people took time off, so the markets didn't really move too much. But nothing has changed. We've still got the demand levels that we marked on the chart, so we'll just wait and see what happens at those levels. And finally, Australia also had a really negative week, but still within that overall range. The box we drew is still there, hasn't gone away. So again, trading within a range is often quite a challenging proposition. But we'll watch it. It's heading down towards the bottom of the range that we've marked off in here. Let's see if it gets there and what it does when it gets there. Okay, I think TradingView has had enough of me now, so I will say my goodbyes. Please subscribe, like the videos if you haven't already, and I will see you next week, hopefully with better charts. Apologies for that. Bye for now.